Vade, who's calling in from New Mexico. Vade, what's going on?
Hey, not a lot. Those two pretty good calls. I think you guys hit the nail on the head with what you're talking about, UFOs. But so actually, I was, if you're interested, we could talk about these Pentagon videos that just got released.
Well, I'll tell you what the call screener screened for. The call screener said that you want to ask about the origins of mythology, and I think that is more up to Aron's expertise.
I wouldn't say that I have an expertise.
I thought it was a good.
Well, you've made more video content on it than I have, Aron. I'd say that's probably true, right? And in the world that we inhabit, if you make a YouTube video about it, that means you're an expert. So your credentials, you've already got it. You have the education. Dude.
Okay, so give me the question how you would phrase it.
So it's actually not a. So I guess the call screening got a little bit confused. I wanted to talk about the origins of God mythology.
Okay.
Okay.
Dan, this is something I've messaged you about before, and I actually just sent you that video again, just if you want to reference it later. And actually it connects to the last caller who was talking about the Aurora, or y'all's brief conversation about the Aurora Borealis. There's a scientist from here in New Mexico. Well, I don't know where he's from, but he was working here. He worked on the Z machine, which was at the time and possibly still the highest energy output that we have. Creates temperatures higher than what you'd see, what would be measured on the surface of the sun. So he's talking about high energy plasma physics. And the historical record shows that in the past, our atmosphere was energized with there was a lot higher ionic energy in the atmosphere than there is presently. So you would have been able to see auroras basically all over the world.
Okay.
And his idea, and he actually has published papers on it in plasma physics and kind of crossing over into anthropology. These plasma discharges at very high energy can kind of take the shape of stick people or figures, especially figures that have been seen around the world painted on caves.
Wait, who's saying this? Who's saying this? Is the people working on this machine? Like, where is this coming from?
This guy's name is Anthony Peratt.
Wait, so it's just one guy who made this machine?
No. Oh, the Z machine. Sorry. No, he was just working on the Z machine. I was just kind of saying, like, that is at a national laboratory at the Los Alamos National Labs, if you've heard of that. That's where some of the atomic bombs were assembled there. I think they were instrumental in developing the solar panels, photovoltaic cells that we use today.
I used to live in Los Alamos.
There's conspiracy theories about Los Alamos too.
Yeah, the locals called it Los Alamos.
Oh yeah.
Lost Alamos. That's pretty funny. I guess I kind of lost the thread there a little bit, Vade. I guess something with people are seeing apparitions. Are they seeing it in the sky?
No, it's not. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So I should have started out with an actual question for background.
Yes.
Do y'all, because I've heard several of the ACA hosts say that they believe gods were created because people like to tell stories, because we have naturally imaginative minds, and we just want to have a story that describes things and gives things a reason for whatever.
Uh-huh. Are you asking if I subscribe to that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think, I'm sure there are God stories where that was the reason why, but to say that as a, complete explanation for every single God mythos out there, that can't be true. That just can't be true. I think It comes for a lot of complex
I'm talking about
reasons.
prehistorical conceptions of God.
Well, even with prehistorical conceptions of God, not even talking about like, Christian monotheist ideas of God, I think God definitely developed in like a sociological context. I think it definitely came up in groups. I don't think it necessarily happened with just one individual. I'm sure lots of people contributed to the stories and to the ideas of gods. But yeah, I don't think it's like one person. Yeah. Yeah. I think it happens through groups and just through, just passing down of culture. Something that starts off as a story could just become fact to a group of people after a certain period of time very quickly. We see that happen most recently with Prince. Oh gosh, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about, Aron. The people who there was an English prince that visited this tribe, and the tribe venerated him as a deity over a couple of decades. Pretty soon, they were like, who came up with these stories about him and how he arrived and awaiting his second coming.
It sounds like you're talking about a cargo cult.
Yeah. And that story was like the kind of one of the origins of the cargo cults, and it was just there to demonstrate that, these stories about gods can happen in very quick amounts of time. Yeah.
So I think more generally what my hypothesis is that these auroras that would have been visible all over the world were interpreted by prehistorical human beings as gods because why? Were visible in the sky. People drew. Well, this is what these high energy. It's really I've been trying to email and get somebody to put visuals up while I talk about this stuff. But
I can't do that for you, Vade. But wait, let me cut this down. Right. Let me cut this down because real quick, like, why would you make the assumption that every single god belief comes from the Aurora Borealis? Like, why would you make that? Because it wasn't
here's why. And I'm not saying every single god belief.
Well, prehistoric god beliefs, because like we have like prehistoric god beliefs that seem to come from a variety of different origins, that they're talking about all kinds of different things. I don't know, why do like weird things in the sky have to be an origin? Like, is there maybe I would believe it if like a specific tribe or a specific populations of people develop from their stories from it.
Do you want to talk about specific tribes?
No, because your claim, Vade, was that this is happening all over the world. That this was an explanation for like tons of groups, and I don't know why you would say that.
Tribes in Arizona, tribes in Spain, tribes in Italy, what's now all these places all across the world. You could see these auroras, and as a prehistoric human being, you would look up and see the auroras, and they resemble a stick figure or a person with a scorpion head.
Let me ask you this: How long ago are they estimating that they could see these aurora borealises in these different locations? When did that stop happening?
Thousands of years. Oh, when did it stop? I would have to go back into his research.
Okay, because we can look at that, right? We can actually see. Here's my point with this, Vade, and Aron clearly has something to say, but. My point with this is we can look at populations of humans that where they were at geographically at different periods of time, and if it doesn't match up to where they're at, then that's a clear way to show that this might not be true. But like even then, right? Like I'm not an anthropologist. I'm not studying any of these specific groups. If you really want somebody to give an opinion on whether this theory works out, you'd probably want to ask somebody who really studies the origins of these specific peoples that you're talking about. But if we're just going to make broad generalizations, I don't know if that's going to be helping anybody. But Aron, go ahead, because
you're ready. There was a time when there was more ionization in the atmosphere than there is today, and it sounds like you're talking about some situation that was probably in excess of 1 billion years ago.
No, not 1 billion. This would have been maybe 20,000. I would have to look, but I would say offhand it'd be in the tens of thousands of years ago, not 1 billion or 1 million years ago.
Okay, so you've got a study that says tens of thousands of years ago, you were able to see Aurora Borealis. And this study says that tens of thousands of years ago, these Aurora Borealises looked like people.
Well, that's the easiest way to interpret them as a prehistoric human, because you don't know what you're looking at.
Has anybody ever seen an Aurora Borealis that looked like a person?
Yes. So when you think more about the actual physics of high energy plasma, yes, it's been recorded in laboratory.
High energy plasma looks like people in laboratories.
Yeah, if you ionize an atmosphere in laboratory, you can produce these exact same shapes that look like petroglyphs that appear all over the world.
I'm going to have to see documentation of that, because I'm not buying it.
I know, yeah. I've been trying to communicate with the ACA about giving pictures out. If you just Google Anthony Peratt, that's P-E-R-A-T-T. Anthony is spelled like Anthony, last name Peratt, P-E-R-A-T-T. There's some pretty good images that show up immediately. The video that I like the most is called Peratt and Petroglyph. It's on YouTube for free. It's just him giving a lecture about these different shapes that appear all over the world. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm looking at this. I'm seeing pictures from Google Images and stuff. You know, I can't do like a live debunking of something I've never seen before. You know, that's just not going to happen. Maybe I'll look into this Vade, and maybe I can talk about it next week or something. But I'm already just.
I'm betting there's not going to be, and I just want to say it right now while we're live. There's not going to be peer-reviewed research that backs this up.
Oh, there is. This guy has published papers. I could probably look it up right now and give you the ISBN number, whatever it is, if you'd like that.
I don't doubt that somebody can publish papers through university. What I am doubting is that there is a published paper out there that says these ionized plasma is the reasons why we interpret, cave paintings the way that we do. Like, I don't know. I don't know how the connection's being made. I can see some. I don't know. Well, I'd have to look at it for. I know, Vade. It's unfair to you because you want to put your stuff out there and we didn't come to this conversation quite as prepared, for that. But the idea is out there. Let me take a look into it, and maybe I'll give a special report for next week and see what I find. How about that, Vade? Will that satisfy you?
That sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, if you guys do want, I can post some of these papers on Twitter or something.
All right.
It would help, yeah.
All right. I'll do a special Truth Wanted report next week on this guy, and I'll give you what I think. I'll give you my thoughts. We'll go for there. But for now, I got to get to some other callers. All right. So, Vade, thanks for calling in.
Thanks a lot for talking to me for a while.
Yeah. I hope I hope you told us at least what you wanted to say, because that was kind of hard to follow for a good 10 minutes there. But yeah, okay. So anytime physics comes up on this program, it can go one of two ways. It can go to really interesting conversations about cosmology and just the universe and just how we interact with the world, really cool. Or it can go into just the weirdest stuff, man, the weirdest stuff. And this is on the weird side. I don't know how to interpret this. Aurora Borealis from a couple of thousands of years ago that we interpret as paintings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this.
Yeah, well, there was something on Google Scholar, so I'll give him that. Yeah,
and I'm seeing some stuff too. But I'm already seeing some stuff kind of debunking this maybe. But I want to give this a fair shake because this is brand new information for me. If this was something I heard before, I could be like, bam, I know why this is wrong. This is kind of different. And this is from a guy who looks like a legit scientist. So I'll give a Truth Wanted report. We'll do it next week. That's just so I can get to some other topics here.